Hey guys, so Shark Tank, Jumpstart Your Business by Michael Pobello. Guys, this book, seriously, really wish I had it like 2 or 3 years ago because it's so fundamental in starting your own business, or even if you just like don't want to pay as much in taxes. There are so many little nuggets in here that are just absolutely killer to get to that next level in business where, at the beginning, it's sort of tough to know what you're doing. You're just thinking of ideas, you're trying to formulate stuff, which is where I was for a long time. But then I started to get to a point where I understood some really great value propositions I could bring to the marketplace and actually like how to do things so that they would work well. And then you start to transition into this more side of the business where you actually have to make it work. And making it work is super important, but it's something that's sort of hard to do at the beginning. So I would spend weeks and weeks and weeks researching tax laws and learning about all these different entities and rules and regulations I'd have to learn just to start the stuff up, because I didn't have like an accountant. It was just like, shoestring budget. You weren't really starting with a professional advisor. And a lot of the things I'd learned, in those weeks and weeks of research and like actually having to go through everything I could find to understand what was going on, those are some things that come out really well in Shark Tank Jumpstart Your Business, because besides the VC side of it, which they totally have, you actually get this really interesting perspective of exactly how to minimize your taxes and hassle when you start. Very early, they start talking about corporate entities, LLCs, S-Corps, like basically just start an S-Corp. But there were also some more unique finances and other analysis factors that they go through. It's really interesting because the author interviews a lot of the sharks from Shark Tank, which is awesome, right? Because that show was super influential in, where I've come. And I think I mentioned it in the acknowledgements part of 9 to Noon. Like that show's insanely like just motivating for entrepreneurs and just growing and growth. It's really great stuff. So when I saw the book, it was like, oh, it makes sense. And then they actually have the people in it talk about how they grew their businesses, where they came from, how they got to where they wanted to go to, and the processes that made up their past to get them where they were. And those were a lot of really great principles and mindset ideas that were very I think it's great to shape yourself in a way that successful people shape themselves, because then you're just, you're setting yourself on the right track, you're mimicking success, and that's the way you get to very quickly increase the speed at which you can accelerate growth in the marketplace and provide more value to others. So alongside those principles and growth prospects, they also talk a lot about uncovering your core plans and understanding exactly how you want to position yourself in the marketplace, which is super important. It's something I really wish I had a while ago before I had to like go through all this stuff myself, because when you do it, you got to figure it out. Trial and error is a huge part of finding those unique propositions and very special parts of selling. But what's really cool about Shark Tank Jumpstart Your Business is they tell a lot of stories about successes from the Shark Tank show. And even if you're not going to get VC funding, or if you're just going to provide value to the marketplace, bootstrap and then just create capital from initial sales, which is totally awesome. It's what I love to do. It's really great to see the success stories because they show you some principles that they followed and some ideas that they used, and you can apply those into your own business and your own growth, which is awesome. Really great to see that, because those are the people that are actually going out there succeeding in the marketplace and doing it. So it's really great to see those guys succeed because it gives you belief in yourself, but it also shows you a very clear-cut path to success. Not necessarily to like copy those people, but to model what they do and to model the strategies that they use and the principles they use, so that you can have success in your own way by using the same strategies, the same principles, the same growth paths that they use. And they talk a lot. There was one example. There was the guy who made this baby back rib sauce, right? And he was on the show, and he got funding, which was awesome. It let him grow his business. But before that, they actually talk a lot about his backstory and how he had like started post office, a stamps, etc. chain, and he was using that as a way to jump into the future of what he wanted to do, which was really interesting because originally he just didn't have the background he wanted. And then when his daughter came into his life and actually made him sign up for Shark Tank and get into the marketplace and provide that value, he was finally got that kick to go and just go all in on it, which was awesome, because going all in is really what was going to have him grow to that whole nother level that he just wasn't at before with whatever it was he was doing, because he wasn't, he was focusing on other things. And then also at the same time, it was tough for him to get the technology down. He had to have like a partner to get the distribution and online sales and marketing done, which would make sense for a lot of people because it's tough to do that. But when you combine those two specialized skill sets, that's something they also talk about a lot, right? Is having complementary partners that are going to grow together, because they can focus on their A game and do exactly what they want to do in their very, very specific part of their business. And that specific part of their business is going to grow over time as they grow, because they can focus on their unique ability and use that to provide the maximum value possible as a team, because one part's at the highest part and the other part's at the highest part. So they're able to, grow together. And then it talks about scaling and especially after they get funded, they bring in other people to the team, which makes sense and it totally works, which is just, it's good to see more so the actual change they had in their lives and their business after, funding, but also after they realize this transformation of, whoa, this is like how you create a business, and this is how you formulate value in the marketplace, in the capitalist system, right? So it was super great to see that. And at the same time, you also get to understand exactly how a lot of the sharks came to be where they are. So like their backstories and how they maintain where they are. There were a couple of things that really stood out to me. One of them was how they spent their free time, and especially after they made it, how they continued contacting and prospecting with clients based on the activities they do outside of work. So like, they go and they drive cars, they meet new people, and they're growing their sphere of influence based on things that they love to do, which is awesome. They also talk a lot about finding things that you can go 100% on to clear your mind. Like I know Kevin O'Leary, right? He was in a band, and that was his thing. He went hard on that, and that helped him get out of his stress, let him decompress, whatever it is, right? It's not a huge deal, but when he did that, he went 100%, and that 100% created severe results in that aspect of his life, even though it wasn't necessarily capital results. They were results that he could feel personally and professionally as he took his game to a whole nother level and went out into the marketplace to crush it afterwards, because he had that time to reconsolidate and do so in such an effective manner that it would just push him harder and harder in the marketplace for years or for months to come, whatever it is. Which really kind of clicked with me, because I know one thing I just love to do is ski, and it was awesome to see that Kevin was, like, he had this thing he was doing, and it allowed him to have maximum performance and output in the marketplace, because that's something not a lot of people talk about. So it was really, really great to see that. And with so many other people that just had their thing they would do on their side, right? Like, I know with a couple of people like Russell Brunson, it's like wrestling, right? Like sports or fitness or whatever takes them to that next level through that daily discipline and also those trips away, right? So you take trips away to ski, but then every day you're going on the grind, you're going weightlifting, right? Because that's important. You got to take yourself to that next level of physical fitness so that you can actually achieve your financial goals, your professional goals, or whatever it is you want to do to get to those long-term goals. Because the best way to do that is going to have control over yourself first. Once you have control over yourself, once you have control over your body, once you have control over every single thing that happens to you, that's when you're finally going to see the surreal success you want in the marketplace and the results that you want to provide to others because of what you've done before. And at a certain extent that you deserve, right? And that's something that I think I see a lot in Shark Tank Jumpstart Your Business, are these people convincing themselves that they deserve to be a major player in the marketplace, and then they just go out and they do it, right? Then the only difference that really separates a lot of the people in that space is the pure fact that some of them went and did it and others didn't. And then it shows you how to go out there and how to do it. And specifically when those first stages of a startup or a company or a business, where you really need to have just a little bit of a leap at the beginning in knowledge, and not just knowledge, but like applicable knowledge that you can use in the marketplace. I think it's a really, really great book for like anyone looking to start a company or make, those first dollars on their own without their boss, right? To be their own boss so that they can eventually go from, employed to self-employed, but really to that end goal of business owner, and creating systems and processes that work for you instead of you working for them is just a huge, huge part of like corporate growth and individual development that this book talks about. And I think it's really great for like scaling or getting it from zero, because like 0 to $1 million is the hardest, right? And then once you make the first $1 million, it's just over and over. You just do the same thing. But that first part where you're really figuring out exactly what you want to do, that's tough stuff, right? So that's where you got to get on the grind. And Shark Tank Jumpstart Your Business, they talk about the grind really, really hard. There were people in there, you know, the guy selling his ribs. There were people, I think Damon funded them, and this guy literally would like sell ribs to his football team and then have like cookouts in college where he would sell them to like everyone on their street or in his local college area, which was so cool. Like, that's so inspirational, because you see these guys getting out there grinding, doing it, and that's exactly what you have to do at the beginning. You got to go really hard, really fast, and don't stop. Don't stop. So link below if you want to check out this book. Absolutely love it. Would highly recommend it. If you're getting out there, starting your first business, you want to start your first business, you want to really get out of that, you know, job situation, or take control of your life, your finances, your family. That's what Shark Tank Jumpstart Your Business is for. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. See ya.